Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to episode 24 of Activating the Witch Within. I am your host, Tanya James, Master Energy Healer, Intuitive Coach, and so thrilled to be with you here today. Thank you to everyone who's been joining me on these lives every week and submitting your questions and chatting in between. I really appreciate everyone. Oh, Barbara's here today. Yay! You got to catch the live. Awesome. So I want to talk a little bit today about disentanglement and how what I see as a very easy way to become disentangled is through judgment, and not only judgment of others, but really it's judgment to ourselves, because when we're judging others, that's some sort of mirror, some sort of blind spot that we're not able to see. And so, other people are triggering us. But for myself and so many of my clients, it's the internal judgment. It's the, I need to be further along, or I should be in a different place than I am, and why haven't I healed this, or why haven't I gotten to the other side of this, or, and so much of it is, our yearning and our desire to, for freedom. When it comes down to it, what do we all want more of? We want more freedom. We want more connection. We want more peace. We want more, joy and excitement in our lives. And then when we don't have some of these things that we're desiring, we make a judgment up, around ourselves, like, oh, I should have gotten that by now. So how do we shift out of this? And this is, one of the most amazing parts of doing what I do for a living as a healer, is just watching people learn how to heal themselves, watching people get out of their own way, calming that itty bitty shitty committee, as I call it, for myself, and really giving ourselves the love, the support, and the nurturing that we need in order to propel us onto our next, the next platform in our lives. And then when we peak and plateau there, we get to go to the next platform, and it's this unfolding journey. But the more we can kind of disentangle from this self-judgment, from, the judgment of others, the sooner we can make that quantum leap into where our actions are aligned, where our hearts are feeling filled up and fueled, and we are feeling that peace and that inner freedom. And guess what? The outer has to match what's going on within. So when we are at peace, when we feel that freedom within ourselves, the outer world is going to match up to, to mirror that back to us. And it's so true that we are the writer, the actor, the producer, and, the director of this beautiful life that we have called into us. And when our creations or miscreations are not, matching up to what that ideal picture is, we start to make judgments around that. So I'm just going to go ahead and start running the energy right away. In this weekly show, I, give a sample of my work, and it's just such a joy to be able to do that. So I want everybody who's watching this live or on the replay to imagine, let's see what the best image is coming up for us here today. Calling in the team, calling in the guides. Thank you for being here. Calling in your council of light, calling in your support, calling in your master guides and teachers and your higher self who's been supporting you every step of the way. Calling it in. And I'd like you to, we're going to do a little quick visualization practice here to just help remove the disentanglements that currently might be going on in your life, areas of struggle, areas of frustration, areas of just not having a lot of energy toward it. And seeing a container in front of you. And for some of you, I'm seeing it's just going to be a big, beautiful glass vase. Others I'm seeing kind of like a coffee can. I'm also seeing a teapot. So whatever container comes into your imagination to use. Hey Glenn, how are you? We're doing a disentanglement process on judgments. So we just kind of started and we called in the team, and we're just going to come back into this here and now moment and picturing a container, whatever container is in front of you that first comes to mind. Might be a coffee can, could be a glass of some sort, a vase, and just seeing this container taking all self-judgment that's running into your field and removing it. And I'm seeing pennies. So self-judgment pennies are flooding into this container in front of you. So mine is a coffee can and I'm just dumping all of my self-judgment into this coffee can and just seeing it filling up with all the pennies, should've, could've's, would've's, not far along enough, I don't have the answers, any place where you feel disempowered, don't have clarity, confusion, because really the root of confusion and not having clarity, I think, is not trusting ourselves. So any place where you're not fully trusting yourself. My bank account should be bigger. I wish I had more friends and connection and community. I'm isolating myself too much. I mean, it's great to pay attention to those things, but once we make a judgment about ourselves with it, then we become entangled. And the more entangled we are, the harder it is to kind of see the forest from the trees. So the team is just helping everyone collecting these coins and dumping them into your container in front of you. And there is going to be a little light language that comes through to support this dumping. I wish I would that I Good. Awesome job. So I'm seeing everyone's container is full. And I would like in your imagination you to chuck it into a volcano. So take this container of self-judgment, self-doubt, judgment of others may have gone in that container. So I saw them as, thousands and thousands of pennies of, any of that inner critic, or how I call my itty shitty, or the itty shitty bitty committee. I don't want to claim it and call it mine. All of that, could be, should be, need more, not enough, lack thoughts. All of it is just go ahead and slingshot it into the volcano now. And then feeling the stillness that comes in, the peace, allowing your skin to soften, allowing your heart to open and expand, and just allowing the space right now for you to feel your higher self in your heart. Really feel that connection. And for everyone that's hopping on right now, we'll be talking here in a minute, just doing a quick process on relieving the pull of disentanglements and disentangling in general, so we can have some quantum shifts into freedom, into abundance, into doing your purpose work and feeling really aligned and empowered in the decisions that you're making. And knowing that confusion and not having clarity is, just kind of rooted in not trusting yourself, and that it is safe to trust yourself, that you do have the answers. And that container of judgments that we just tossed into the volcano is getting recycled by our beautiful Mother Earth and turning into nourishment. And even though we're not planted in the ground like a tree with roots that go into the earth, we are connected to earth through, we could call it an invisible root system, right? So we are just as one with the earth as the birds, flying in the air, and the trees rooted in the earth. We have a perception that there's a separation because we can jump off of it and hop in an airplane or whatever, but we're just as connected to the earth as the bald eagles that, soar the skies. And just allowing those roots to soak up the nourishment of this fertilizer that was created by letting go of these judgments and letting your body fill up in this nourishment, in this light that's here, that you created by letting some of this disentanglement energy go. And as these nourishing waters of empowerment are coming up through the feet, just feel them reaching your heart and seeing and sensing your higher self sitting on the throne of your heart, just beaming out to every cell in your body the truth of who you are as a amazing co-creator of light, co-creating with life. Beautiful. So everyone here that's watching live has got it. Check in with everybody on the replay. So there's going to be some people on the replay that this might take a second to integrate. So just asking for anything that's blocking receiving this transmission here today to be cleared. We're open to receive. Good. Now everybody who's also watching on the replay is receiving this nourishing waters up your feet of empowerment, of knowing that you're on purpose. And how can we step into some quantum shifting? So I would love, to support you today in just creating a miracle in your life. So go ahead and think of an area that you would like to see a shift around. This could be in relationships, calling in your soulmate. This could be on, managing ascension symptoms and feeling better in your body. This could be in, filling up your bank account. I'm hearing there's some bank account requests. So, imagine, if you're a woman, your favorite purse. If you're a man, like maybe a leather sack, like kind of one of those old school leather sack coin purses that you guys used to carry back in the day. And I want you to picture this purse or sack in front of you as a representation of your spiritual bank account. So if you notice any holes, tears, leaks, let's just go ahead and invite the team to go in and heal any places that your abundance is leaking through. And when we have abundance leaks, it's usually because we're not owning our value. Our hands are open, we're ready to receive, right? Like, yes, I'm ready to receive, I'm open, but my fingers are closed and it's slipping through because I'm not holding my value. I'm not keeping the purse nice and whole and sealed. It's open at the top and ready to fill up. It's just got all these leaks and tears because we're not owning our value. So, and I am not separate from this in any way, shape, or form. So, yes, they're giving a second healing today just on, and this purse can represent, if it's not finances for you and it's more of the relationship or the physical health, you can use this as a metaphor for whatever it is that you're asking for a quantum shift with today. And just seeing these areas, they're just healing them, rethreading them with an indestructible golden thread of love I am hearing. So all of these areas in your spiritual purse or bag are getting sewn up, owning your value. So every stitch that is happening right now is helping to own your value, own your worth in the world, own that you are a powerful creator with gifts here to share that no one else but you has to share. Own it, claim it, declare it. I am one with my purse, with my purse. I was going to say I'm one with my purpose, but yes, I'm one with my purse. That's a great, the comedy team's here today. I love it. So any questions on any of that? The energy is just kind of going in and flowing. Does anybody who's watching here now have any extra support that you would like? Any questions? Go ahead and pop them up and make sure there's nothing here that I'm missing. No. So if you have any particular area that you'd like a little additional support on, go ahead and type in a question. Otherwise, the team, I'm seeing just Archangel Michael and Raphael like trading off on the thread, the golden thread, just weaving in and out, healing any of those leaking of energy. And that is where our abundance leaks through, when we're not valuing ourselves, when we're not owning our power, claiming our brilliance. Everyone watching live has received at 100%. Everyone watching the replay has also received at 100%. Fantastic. Well done. And now calling in a miracle. So what would you like a miracle on? Declare it. You know, we're all sitting here in the sacred circle together right now, holding space for one another. Declare that miracle. Barbara said, this has been so synchronistic today. I was triggered by a friend and it opened a very deep wound. I immediately fell into self-judgment. So thank you for this clearing. Oh, you're so welcome. And good for you for catching it. And also when we go into that self-judgment place, saying, okay, you know, being our own best friend and giving that part a hug. You know, we came here to be human. We didn't come here to be perfect. We came here to learn lessons. And we, you know, most of us, in terms of some of the most trying times of our life, most of us would not have signed up for some of the crap we've had to go through, right? We wouldn't have signed up for it. So, you know, it's like, oh, well, I must have done something wrong or I wouldn't have experienced that. Letting all that go. It's not that you're not taking responsibility. A lot of times we're taking so much responsibility and slipping into the self-criticism. So somebody has a lot of heat coming up because my whole body just got a wave of heat with that. And they're showing me, Barbara, to send, you know, your friend who triggered you today, you know, thank you for being the messenger. And I send you to the light. And then the original tug, so if you can go back to the first time that you felt that feeling and give and release that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I now own whatever part of me this was pointing to. You know, I own where I wasn't loving myself. I own where I wasn't showing up for myself, wherever that initial point came from with the original trigger. I'm letting that go. Letting that go. Oh, and I was in so much self-judgment in the last week. I got this really wacky cold and it turned into this like full body pain. And I ended up in the emergency room a few nights ago because I was having like kidney pain, was what it felt like, at a level 9. And the last time I had experienced any kind of, you know, huge amount of physical pain like that was when my appendix ruptured years back. And I'm like, oh, there's got to be something really wrong. I'm sitting here crying in pain. My body hurts. What's wrong with me? Why haven't I been able to heal this? Why hasn't, why is this happening to me? Oh, I went into total self-judgment around my body not, feeling good. And it was funny because I spent 4.5 hours in the waiting room to, be seen. And while I was there, I had this conversation with a mom who was exactly where I was about 5 or 6 years ago at the beginning, or 7 years ago now, at the beginning stages of my divorce, and had just had court that day and was having a panic attack. And, we sat and talked for like 15-20 minutes, and I'm like, man, I totally get it. And if I could have talked to myself back then, I would have said this. And we just chatted, and I gave her a big hug. And when I stood up to check to see how much longer my wait was, my pain was almost all gone. And it was like, oh, well, I guess this is why I was sitting in the emergency room the last 3 hours to have this conversation. And I was still making sure that everything was okay, which it was. And I'm feeling much, much better today. There's still a little left over, which, I've been kind of nursing back into full health. But I feel at like 95% today, which is awesome considering. But I was in a lot of judgment around just not feeling good. And that there, should have been something I could have done more of. And I really have done a lot of work just in the last couple days of letting that self-judgment go. Like, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, even if it's uncomfortable. I understood that, and I make myself sick so that I can avoid commitment. Happy to know you're feeling better. I didn't understand that fully, Barbara. So, are you talking about you're distracting yourself from committing to certain things because then you get sick, and you're getting sick as a distraction? So, you can explain that a little bit better. And the team is still running energy on everyone, and, in declaring that miracle. So what's the miracle for you today, Barbara? Is it to fully and unconditionally love, accept, and support yourself in all ways without questioning? I'm just throwing that out there, without questioning yourself. I think, if our itty bitty shitty committees just took a permanent break, that would probably be a miracle for all of us, right? So we can just ask for that miracle. Any and all self-judgment to just be gone. And the freedom that is experienced when we let go of that self-judgment. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, everyone has received this healing today at 100%. Fantastic. And on the replay, fantastic. The miracle has been declared. In everybody watching live, I for the replay, go ahead and declare that miracle that you're asking for. The miracle is that I got that awakening about how I sabotaged myself to avoid commitment with another partner. Okay. So, removing all those obstacles, just ask for the miracle. I remove everything that has been blocking me from, attracting, bringing in, calling in my life partner. I remove it all, and I open myself to receiving that relationship that I would so lovingly want with my beloved, with ease and grace, with fun. Just letting all of that which has been preventing you from letting that in go. Well, I hope everybody that has been with me here live and on the replay has enjoyed this beautiful transmission from the team. If you would like to speak with me further and have some personal work done to create a quantum shift in your life, I will go ahead and drop in a calendar link in the comments. For 15 minutes consult. We'll do a little mini healing on something and talk about how I can support you in really igniting the brilliance of who you are, activating that highest self within and letting that higher self in you merge. That's one of the areas in session work that I just am always in such awe of how beautiful it is, seeing and witnessing people being able to merge with that eternal aspect of themselves and really start to learn and trust that inner knowing and making decisions from that aligned action, excitement place, instead of, kind of plowing along, waiting for relief. So I will go ahead and pop in that calendar link for a consult. Thank you to everybody who joined me here today live. I love you. And I hope you have a beautiful, blessed, amazing rest of your Sunday and week ahead. And I will see everybody next week. Okay. Much love. Bye for now. Oh, thanks, Barbara. You are too. Okay. Bye.